Hey, folks, good afternoon and welcome to Thursday's Market SITREP. Apologies for not having yesterday's SITREP. I was back-to-back coaching, busy trading, and booking some speaking events. So really busy day yesterday, but we're back with Thursday's Market SITREP, and market's still kind of wallowing around. It's kind of this wait-and-see market. Obviously, after this 7-8 day rip-your-face-off rally, we were due for a little bit of a pullback. But again, the Dow, the S&P within striking distance of record highs. And, like this headline in the Wall Street Journal this morning, beware the market where everything goes up. Investors will be bitten by a lack of diversity in returns if all asset classes turn south again. So the S&P, the emerging market index, the commodities, oil, you name it, bonds, everything's going up. So when everything goes up, that means what goes up must come down. So this wait-and-see market, we're kind of in a holding pattern waiting for kind of news on China trade, which we'll get to in a second. And we're also kind of waiting on earnings. Tomorrow morning, we get JP Morgan, we get Wells Fargo. So we're starting to see the financials roll off the flight deck, and they might set the tone. So if they come in a little bit weak, that might be kind of the spark that drives the sell-off. Hey, real quick. Join me for a free webinar, how to consistently target profits in a hostile market, where we're going to cover our 92% win rate year to date. All you have to do is head to go.topgunoptions.com/register. That's go.topgunoptions.com/register, free webinar, and you can check out what we're trading right now. Obviously, this week saw earlier in the week a big news item that the media really aren't covering because the Attorney General is on the Hill, and Steve Mnuchin and that idiot Maxine Waters got into a little kerfluffle. So the Secretary of the Treasury and the head of the House Financial Oversight Committee, kind of a domestic shit show, to be honest with you. The Attorney General admitting yesterday that the Trump campaign was in fact spied on. Anybody remember after Trump got elected and he started seeing what was actually going on? He's like, the Obama administration spied on my campaign and me in Trump Tower, wiretapped me. The media, people laughed. Oh my God, this guy's an idiot. And that's, it started downhill from there. He was spied upon, folks. Get the rope. Agent Strozik and his lover, what's her name? Never mind. His adulterous lover there. One of their texts said, we have to keep the White House informed. They're very interested in what we're doing. This goes all the way up to the top. So anyway, folks, I'll leave the domestic politics aside, but start getting the rope for some of these folks. A coup. Right? This is a coup. In the old days, we used to hang people for treason. Now they put out books and get a book tour. Some of these people are going to go to jail, I guarantee you. Anyway, how did I get sidetracked? Iran. The biggest announcement, of course, President Trump did this right the day before Netanyahu's re-election bid over in Israel, which he eventually won. The president declared the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, as a terrorist organization, which means what? And Secretary of State Pompeo, this was another news item that was kind of ignored. Brett Baer on Fox asked the Secretary of State, well, if the dude's the head of that terrorist organization, he's like the guy in charge of ISIS, we can target him, right? He's like, he is a terrorist. I'll leave it at that. Meaning we could drone strike this guy and kill him. This is an escalation with Iran, folks, that is flying underneath the radar and is another one of these potential black swan events. Got to keep your eye on these type of things. China. Look at this headline. China sweetens its cloud offer in U.S. trade talks. Cloud computing, data handling, and other issues around the tech sector are at the forefront of negotiations. They're sweetening their deal, folks. They gave in on the fentanyl thing last week or something like that. Why do you think China all of a sudden is turning pretty nice in negotiations? Because it's not going to work. None of this is going to work. Look at this headline. U.S.-China reach accord on trade deal enforcement. I heard this was a huge sticking point. Sticking points such as timing on tariff roadblocks remain. What's going on here? We have a great bearish trade for our bearish trade on EWZ on Brazil's looking great this week, up about $1,100, and then we have a bearish trade in one of our portfolios on FXI. As I predicted, this thing is going to wallow until we get some sort of announcement, and then we're going to get a pop. Right? I think we're going to get an initial pop, and then we're going to sell on the news of this trade deal. It's going to suck. And you ready for this? We might not even get a trade deal. We might stick with the status quo. We don't mind all these tariffs we're bringing in here, billions of dollars into the Treasury that we've never brought in before. We like where it is, China. That is a distinct possibility, ladies and gentlemen. And I briefed my members this week on why I think the president went full retard last week on Friday and hit the Fed really hard. I believe that the president came out last Friday and said not only should the Fed stop raising interest rates or stop pausing, they should cut interest rates. And I believe they should resume their bond buying, that quantitative easing. You know why? That's the Trump put. I think the president's starting to realize that even if they get a deal, it's going to suck, even though he's going to use all the adjectives in the world about how great it is and huge and nobody does deals like him. The market's going to recognize it's awful. The Trump put is the president going after the Fed to prop up this market, and it's awful. U.S. stocks wobble amid wait and see. Like I said, we're in a holding pattern right now. So we have some inflation data that came out and trade talks. Okay, I completely disagree with everybody out there who says this rally does not have the trade deal in it. Folks, all of this rally, first of all, this rally is an S&P 500 stock buyback rally. The only reason the stock market went up since the Fed bottom here was what? Stock buybacks. This was not an institutional rally. And institutions, hedge funds, large financial firms are not jumping in to this market at record highs. But I guarantee you when it turns south, they're going to pound the hell out of it into the dirt. You have got to be hedged, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll cover this at 1 o'clock in our live trade brief. Check out what Larry Kudlow said this morning. I don't see rates rising again in my lifetime. I get the dude's old and in his 70s, but this is the White House and the executive branch of this government really are trying to drive the Fed around like a wheelbarrow. It's very, very interesting. When Larry Kudlow said, he's the market whisperer, I don't see rates rising again in my lifetime. You would think the market, we'd be seeing a rip your face. The market used to move on Larry Kudlow comments on trade and stuff like that, and now we're down. S&P's down a little bit, Dow's down a little bit. Didn't even move on Kudlow's comments there. So expected earnings pullback sets up a big test for bull market. I think Q1 earnings aren't going to be horrific, but they're not going to be good. Let's just see how we spin it, right? But this is the big takeaway from today's SITREP. Beware the market where everything's going up. It's not supposed to be that way. Some assets are supposed to move opposite each other. Dollar and gold, for example, stuff like that. Oil, dollar. There's some pairs trades where in the old day, you could place a trade where one of these would go up and the exact the exact opposite would happen with the other asset class. When that breaks down, when correlation breaks down, you're setting up for a potential fall here. The moment of truth for stocks. I talked recently about getting long volatility. Let's see what the VIX is doing today. Where's the VIX? The volatility index today, as I shoot this, is at 13. Still hovering around this resting heart rate down here at 13. Something is going to happen in the next 30 days to freak this market out. Period. That's going to happen, folks. I haven't even talked about the Brexit. That's still a clown car going on around there. Love this headline. Amazon's rise in ad searches dents Google's dominance. And breaking news today that the Amazon and Microsoft are the last two contenders in the government cloud computing deal. Just because Donald Trump hates Jeff Bezos, I don't know if they'll get it, but they are more cloudish than Amazon, in my opinion. Hopefully Amazon gets that. Leaked Google memos reveal aggressive news blacklist against conservative sites. Oh my God, I'm shocked. I'm shocked to recognize that Google, this piece of shit limousine liberal company, bans conservative sites, or Twitter shadow bans conservatives. Can't stand these people. These people are limousine liberals who preach tolerance and speech and everything like that, and then ban the speech that they don't like and don't tolerate people that doesn't think like them. It's the definition of intolerance. Stay away from these stocks, folks. Uncle Sam is coming, and he's coming with size 12 boots. Justice may be delayed, but it's not denied. Whether it's with this collusion bullshit and the FISA people, dirty FBI and DOJ agents, we're coming after you, folks. We the people are coming after you, and we the people are coming after you limousine liberals in the Bay Area because we've had enough. I lost my personal Twitter account because I posted something unflattering about former President Barack Hussein Obama. 4,000 followers gone. Now I have to feebly build up I think I have like 800 in my Top Gun Options Twitter account. I'm a free market guy. I want a competitor to these companies to jump up, but they have put a moat so high or a wall so high around their business that they're actually, when Mark Zuckerberg begs for government regulation, here's what he did. It's brilliant. I got mine. I became an absolute kabillionaire based on sticking it to stupid MFers who give me their data. And now that he's got his fiefdom, he's asking the government to come in and protect him. It's like that, what's his name? Pablo Escobar down in Colombia. I'm going to surrender to authorities if I get to build the prison. The dude he had to switch to the electric fence in his office. It was a party central. So nice job, Mark Zuckerberg. You get my Pablo Escobar Hypocrite of the Century Award. So stay away from these stocks, folks. There's a lot of roaches in there. I get that the market now has kind of been whistling past the graveyard, but one of the wisdoms you're going to learn here at Top Gun Options is the market only cares when it cares, and when it cares a lot, right? Market, we were seeing this rift your face off Trump rally going in October. We knew that the Federal Reserve was going to be raising interest rates because the economy was looking good. But once they said that they were going to, we went through an absolute shit show for about 3 or 4 months. So remember, folks, the market only cares when it cares. And when it cares a lot. Markets take the elevator down and the escalator up. We've taken a nice escalator up here. We'll see. Tomorrow's going to be a big day with earnings, folks. So make sure you check in with me tomorrow for Friday's market wrap-up. And make sure you register for our next live trade session by heading to go.topgunoptions.com/register. Okay? I got to get ready for our Analyze Your Trade and weekly debrief at 1 o'clock. I'll see you guys in there. God bless.